This segment's going to go over making the carrier board for the registration pins and the ability to flip the board over and etch the bottom side. The plan is to use Vcarve Pro in this case. Well, this won't be a tutorial of Vcarve Pro. It's really going to go over my workflow. So, being an electronics shop, we have lots of standoffs, and I found that steel standoffs are more consistent than the aluminum ones in terms of diameter. But so we're going to use a 1/4 inch by 3/8 long steel standoff that's threaded. You want the threaded so it aids in removal later. So what I found is it's best to have a press fit into the MDF, but a slip fit into the PCB. Otherwise, it becomes difficult to get this PCB off. I've picked 7.5 millimeters here to clear the bolt that holds the MDF down to the board, but if you're shaving off your MDF, you're going to have to watch that height. My 1/4 inch standoffs measured 249 mils, so I'm going to go over making this scenario. So I start off by sketching and laying out the PCBs. These are the 4 adapters. Then you have to do the outside cut perimeter because that's the more important one. Our gap here is 2.5 millimeters to match my end mill that I intend to use. I'm overlapping them so I don't have to have any little stringers in between, and each of these should be attached with a tab at the top and bottom. Alright, so I make an outline and I make 4 registration holes. Okay, we'll start with the spoiler board holes, which are the press fit deeper ones. So I'm using a pocketing tool path so I don't have anything floating, and I'm going down the 7.5 millimeters, this height from the top to PCB. I'm going to ramp in, just take it easy on the end mill, and it's going to do it in 3 passes. Okay, so if we preview that, see a nice deep hole. Okay, so next I'm going to make the PCB registration pins. In this case, we're only going through the PCB, which in this case is 63 mils or 1.65 millimeters, and we'll add a little of that to make sure we make it through. Again, we're going to ramp in. That wouldn't matter that much here. But because we're making this slip fit, we're going to add 0.08 millimeters, and that's on the diameter. So in terms of making a hole larger in Vcarve, we are going to add 0.04 millimeters. So you select your geometry and calculate. So, and there was 4 shallow holes. Okay. So we'll just double check that by zooming in here. Our slip fit should be the same size as the hole, and our slip fit one should be slightly larger than the hole, and it is. So now we just need to cut out the outline. Alright, so we're going to do 2D profile. In this case, we're going to cut at the outside. The intention is to put the standoffs in before the outline is cut. Therefore, you won't need to add any tabs. So there won't be any tabs, but we will ramp in, and we're going to do it at 50 millimeters, but that was pretty haphazardly picked. Okay, calculate. We'll preview. And we'll have our board cut out. So now we have our carrier board.